Helsa. Um, I recently had a conversation with an individual, and the conversation was based on the path, or the path that many of us take to wokenism or Odinism. And one of the things that I have noticed um, over time is that I think that many of us forget the path that we took. I hear people who are wokenist and odinist, and they're real quick to want to cross out people who haven't embraced our way of life. And it makes me wonder, have we forgotten? Um, have we forgotten that the majority of us wasn't raised Odinist. We wasn't raised Wotanist. Um, Many of us were raised in different religions. Um, we come from different backgrounds, and had it not been for the gods awakening or creating that spark within us, many of us would not have found the path that we're on now. I think one of the major problems is that like many of us take credit for that. We take credit that we embraced wokenism and Odinism. And that is so far from the truth because when we stop and we look at our journey, we look at the path that we've taken. Um, Most of us um, come from the Christian belief. Um, some of us came from a different belief. But at some point in time, the gods and the goddesses saw fit to ignite that spark that would lead us on the path that we are now. And this is something that we should never forget. We should never take credit for something that we really had no control over. Because I think it's easy when we have learned a little knowledge. We've learned a little bit about our way of life, heathenism, that we feel like we have reached the point or the mark. And at that moment in time is when we should know that we will never reach that point. We will never reach that mark. We are seekers in everything that we do. We will be seekers for the rest of our lives. And we shouldn't be so quick to condemn those who have not yet been awakened. And when you start studying heathenism, when you become a wokenist, when you become an Odinist, you take on a responsibility. And that responsibility is to attempt to awaken those who have not yet been awakened, just like you were awakened. And me and this individual talked extensively because, as most brothers and sisters know, I love to talk. So we talked extensively. And one of the things that I realized from talking with this individual was he had a deep desire to reach out to other people, to try and enlighten them. And this is the attitude that we should have. We should have that attitude that if the gods and the goddesses have blessed us with knowledge, and not only blessed us with knowledge, but blessed us with the wisdom to understand our focused ways, our heathen ways, then we have an obligation to reach out to people who do not know. But you can't reach out to people and badger them. You can't reach out to them and attack them. And here's the reason why. Because there is a system that has been set in place. And this system is geared towards multiculturalism, or what I would like to call brainwashing from the original Aryan concepts. So we will have young people who will follow multiculturalism because this is what they are being raised to believe. We will have people who will hold true to the Eastern religions. It's up to us to enlighten these people. And now, if they choose not to be enlightened, then, as the old saying goes, let the cards fall where they fall. Get in where you fit in. But for those of us who have learned, whom the gods and the goddesses have blessed to have this kind of knowledge, we have to understand that not everybody is going to openly accept what we have to say immediately. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes effort. And I have come to understand from my own experience, nobody taught me about Odinism. Nobody really exposed me to Odinism. I learned this through the skinhead movement. I come from a total different background, as most of my brothers in Gallows Tree know. I come from an Islamic background. Now, I know that by me making that statement, I will probably lose some friends, and I really don't care. But I can use my own history as an example of people taking the time out to educate me and to teach me what it means to be Aryan. And I know in the past, some people have tried to use this against me, but I'm firm in my belief, so it doesn't bother me. But in my own background, I was raised under the Islamic belief all the way up until the age of probably 13 or 14. When I left it, I joined the skinheads, and I never looked back. And through that, my education evolved. It transcended to the point that it is at now. And I understand that many of y'all who are watching this video, who are self-centered, who like to attack people, you probably would have never given me the time of day. But thankful, the gods sent people to me to educate me. By the time I was 13, I spoke and read Arabic fluently. But I always had this problem. And this problem was that somewhere deep within my mindset, soul, if that's the word you wish to use, somewhere deep within that, something never set right with me. It never bonded or sealed with me, because I knew that there was something greater than that belief. I knew that there was something more. And the more that I thought on it, the more that I began to study, the more that I began to read and reach out to people who had the knowledge to educate me, the more I began to understand that there was more to life. There was more to my ancestral ways. There was more to my Aryan awakening than what I knew. So I would ask my brothers and sisters who are in the position to educate, don't be so quick to judge. Don't be so quick to attack, because we have to understand many of us were raised in a multiculturalism society. We were raised in a system that is geared, and its main objective is to destroy the concept of the Aryan man. So we should remember that when we deal with people who don't think like us, who don't believe like us. Because at one time, we also didn't think like us. We also didn't believe like us. So let us be mindful of that when we deal with each other. Helsa, may the gods and the goddesses continue to guide us. May we continue to learn the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding that our ancestors hand to us. Hail to my tribe, Gallows Tree, and hail to all those brothers and sisters who uphold the heathen hammer high. And as always, fuck their world. It's our time. Hail, son.